What up, reefers? This is Jim from Saltwater Reef channel. I thought I'd give you a little update today about how the 530-gallon tank is going along. So as you can see, there's coral going into the tank right now, and we finally have got the numbers for the nitrates and phosphates in a reasonable area that allows for that to happen. We were around 50 nitrate and probably close to 1 phosphate, and during that the corals weren't doing very well. It was even stressing out the fish. I was having some ick issues with fish at that higher nitrates. Now I changed some stuff on my algae scrubber and was able now to have run 3 screeds versus 2, and it's brought the nitrates down to about 12. We've also added some more live rock to the sump, probably about another 100 pounds to the sump. So as you can see, fish are doing good. Now that the nitrates are down at 12, my phosphates are somewhere between 0.24 and about 0.5, depending on when I'm cleaning the algae screens. I usually test those on a Friday or Saturday, so it just really kind of depends where I am in that cycle of cleaning the screens. But a lot has happened since the last time I've posted. I've added new lights to the tank. We've switched out the old homemade LED lights that I had that were designed for a 180-gallon tank that I had before I got this tank. So I switched them out now that we were moving to, I had got most of the fish. There's a few more fish that I want to get for this tank, but most of those are kind of seasonal and they're harder to get and a lot more expensive, so I can't just like go out and buy 5 or 6 of them. Most of them are somewhere in the $500 to $1,000 or more range for this tank. So I did turn up the lights so it's more white so that you can see the fish, and the corals a little bit better without any filters. I did finally get my Achilles Tang named Troy in here, and my Moorish Idol named Rockstar are both in here. And of course the powder blue was in this tank long before the Achilles and the Moorish Idol, and it did take a while for me to get them to come in. I did hold them up in my frag tank up there until they were all eating frozen and pellets, and then I was able to bring them in. I have a gate that drops right here in this gap, and kept them on that side of the gate, on that side of the tank, for a good 3 weeks before introducing, removing the gate and being able to interact with the other fish. A lot of the small fish could get through the Wrasses and stuff, but it kept the powder blue and some of the more aggressive, other kind of aggressive fish over on that side. Once I did remove the gate, the powder blue chased them for about 3 or 4 days, and that was about it. Now he stays to this end of the tank. This is kind of his turf, this side, and the powder blue has this side. He will come down to this side if I put the frozen food on this end, but he likes to stay to that side. He does get chased, but it's not being chased to like tearing up fins or hurting him or pinning him in one location. I think it's almost like a playful 2 dogs running and chasing each other type thing right now. So there's lots going on. We added a calcium reactor to this tank, Skimzy's monster style calcium reactor. And you'll say, well, there's not a lot of coral in this tank. Well, there's about 30 pieces now in this tank, and yes, it's not a lot of coral, but I'm using a Triton to monitor the system. I do have to go out and adjust it when it gets a little bit high, but I have noticed that it has settled down on a number now, and we seem to stay in that zone. So that seems like we're getting the uptake that we with the corals to keep up with that. So like I said, I added a calcium reactor and a Trident to monitor it. I do usually do my testing on Friday and Saturdays for phosphates and nitrates. I did an ICP test, the ATI ICP test, and I started dosing iodine to this tank on a weekly basis. So I thought I would kind of show you around a little bit with the tank and show you how I did the lighting, and then we'll go out to the sump room to show you that for you, okay? So not much has changed on, of course, on this end. There's no real corals going in. I kind of started on one end and I'm kind of working over. With the changing of the lights, the hole in the top does not have a light right over it, but I'm going to fix that. I'm going to get another Radion just to light up that, which lights up this rock underneath the thing and puts a nice twinkle to that area. So we're going to be eventually moving corals onto this as I work across the tank. This will probably be more SPS up here on these shelves, and that's what I'm planning, and then LPS down along the legs area. So as you can see, we're just starting to add coral to this section. I still have some more coral in the frag tank over there that I want to add. I just haven't added it yet, and figuring out where I want to do it. None of this corals is glued down or anything like that. I can still move, and I still do move them on a daily basis to my liking. So this is the main rock that has all the LPS on it. And like I said, this is pretty much going to be an LPS tank, but it probably end up being a mixed reef with Montes and Millies and Stylophoras on the top ledges of this tank. So as you can go, we go around. Oh, there's a fish box in here because I'm trying to catch the female of my orange dash wrasse. I've already caught the male. I like them for their color, but they are a little bit too high strung for the rest of the wrasses that I have in here, and that kind of bothers me a little bit. So I'm trying to catch them and either going to donate them or like to find a breeder that would like them. They are a spawning pair basically every morning around 9:30, 10 o'clock they spawn. So this is the back side of the rock. As you can see, we got plenty of different corals in here going. I still want to get a coral for probably down here, one here, and one on this rock. And then, of course, like I said, none of these corals are attached, so I can move them around as I want. So basically the backside got plenty of room. I figured I can put about another 100 or more frags in this tank and let them grow out without any too much trouble. So as you can see, this is, like I said, a peninsula tank. One pump runs each one of these outlets independently. And I've been working on getting rid of the old VDMs that I have here. And I've got another apex to replace this one. So there's going to be two new apexes on this. And then the WXM module in the MP40, and then we'll put a reef link over here and everything. So here's the lighting, how it came out. I have a friend that works in the architect lab, and he helped me cut out these brackets. As you can see, they're mounted on the brackets with the Eco's hooks on them, and they just slide on and off. All I had to do was machine the square bracket, or the rectangular bracket with the hole in the middle. The rest of it, this bracket that they hang on and the wall bracket, was all the same. All I did was add a hook from the end to the wall there to support the extra weight. They were a little bit heavier than the original. So there's 3 sets, runs 3 independent things. This is 3, this is 2, and that's 1. So each lighting can be run independently. I wish I could run them each one independently, but I can't. That becomes a lot harder to do. So, but that's how it is. I of course still got the tops, acrylic tops on the tank, and This is the frag system. It will be tied in hopefully shortly to the main system. And so there's coral all down in here. And then I use the top tank for kind of a QT tank. They've gone through QT and now they're just getting more used to the food that I'm doing. And this 40 breeder is used more of as a QT tank too when I have fish for it. So let's go out to the garage and I'll show you the sump area. So we're gonna stop in here, and this is the laundry room where the pipes come through here. This is a 3-inch pipe. That's the drain. And then there's the two 1.5 inch, 1.5 inches that feed each side. This is also where I keep the Triton. The lines go through the wall, through where the pipes are, and into the sump to get to do its testing. So they said you can't keep the Triton outside, so I've mounted it in the laundry room, and it does all the testing there. So as you can see, I got my testing stuff. Let's go out in the laundry outside. Oops. So this is the algae scrubber. This is a 4-foot long tub that has, we just added, like I said, about another 100 pounds of live rock here. Chato's growing really well in here. And this is the algae screen right there. There's 3 screens that I got from Walmart thing. And basically what's going to happen is I'm going to take this spot right here, make an elbow, and then add another screen, a row just like this, and add 3 more sheets of this algae screen to my tank, and it should bring the nitrates and phosphates down the last little bit. Okay. Anybody that doesn't have it, you need a sink in your fish room, man. That's the best thing in the world. So up here is a dehumidifier for the winter, and then that is my Skimzy skimmer, or Skimzy's calcium reactor, and my Kimura pump. I have to do a push through instead of a pull because of how far it is down to the sump down here. I can't seem to suck it through. I have to push it through. So, and then off to the side is my CO2 tank that's not running right now. I'm still using my roll filter. This is the best thing I've ever done. I just move it just a little bit, about 12 inches every day or every other day, and it keeps the tank pretty clear. That's the 3-inch pipe that comes in from the laundry room and brings the water to the tank. I will also have, hopefully somewhere in here is going to be the frag tank outputs, or where they come through the wall. I've got a Skimzy skimmer, the large Skimzy oval skimmer running it, and then this is a carbon and phosban reactor that hopefully I only have to run carbon when I add the extra algae screens to it. I got a little bit more rock in here, and there's 3 pumps down here. I don't know if you can see them very well. There's 3 pumps in there. These 2 pumps run the tank, 1 for each side, and this is the pump that runs the algae scrubber here. I did take out all the marine pure blocks. I did a Triton test, and they said it was high in aluminum, and this is what one of the algae blocks was doing to me, or marine pure blocks. It was just disintegrating on me. Now the other ones weren't. I may have had a bad one, but I went ahead and pulled them all just to make sure I didn't have any trouble. So but yeah, so that's the sump area. This is a 180 gallon tank. We're running about half full, and this is over 100 gallon Rubbermaid tub, and it's almost full. So let's see here. So let's go back on inside, and and it's nice how having the sump out in the garage. So everything in here stays pretty quiet, even though it's a little bit louder because of the frag tank. But that's going to go away when I add the, when that gets plumbed into the big sump out in the garage. There's our mascot, Lady. But yeah, so this is how the tank's going. It's I'm really pleased with the progress that's been made in the last few months, and can't complain. If you're having some ick issues, you might want to look at the nitrates to make sure that you're not stressing the fish out. Nitrates seem to stress out when they got above 25. But this is the December update for the tank. I'll try to get more videos out a little bit quicker. I've just been so busy working on the tank and with work this fall. But if you liked it and you want to keep up with how this tank's going, why don't you hit the subscribe button and like the video for me, and we'll try to keep you posted on what's new. Like I said, there'll be some new corals going in, and got some other big projects, especially when I do the calcium or the frag tank system gets added. So, okay, thanks a lot. Have a good day.